Hey guys, this is Second Act Comeback, and today I want to talk about pruning. Life has a funny way of really telling us exactly what is needed, and if you pay attention and if you're observant, you'll recognize when it is time for you to allow things in your life to be pruned. Do you feel stuck, unfulfilled? Do you feel like you're stagnant, you're not growing, and you need more? Guys, those are definite signs that you need to pay attention to. Your life is trying to tell you to cut some things away to make room for new. And if you're observant and you pay attention and you do the work, you can experience the growth that you're designed to experience. So today I want to talk about how and why pruning is necessary. There are three major areas in our life where pruning is necessary on a regular basis, and it will show up in these particular three areas. Number one, in your job or your career. Do you feel stagnant? Do you feel unfulfilled? Do you feel like you're not growing in that area? That is one sure sign that pruning is necessary. Number two, relationships, people, whether they're toxic or just long-standing relationships that don't seem to be growing. There seems to be a level of codependence on another person. There's fear of moving forward without that person. There's anxiety associated with the relationships. There's a lot of different signs that tell us maybe it's time to move away or cut away an unhealthy relationship. Thirdly, guys, is our own identity. Our own identity has a way of keeping us centered and keeping us in forward motion. And when you begin to experience things like there's no passion in your life, you're clinging to the past, there's no forward momentum, those can be areas of your identity that are telling you that it's time for you to move away and develop and be transformed into a new person. So today, I want to give you 3 benefits of pruning and why you must allow the pruning process to cut away the things that are no longer serving you so that you can become the greatness that you were designed to be. The first benefit to pruning is making room for growth. In my personal life, I will share a way that God was showing me that he was pruning some things away from me. Prior to me being terminated from my job, I had actually taken a week off and came back to work. And I had a rose bush on my desk, myself and a coworker. We had rose bushes. Well, when I came back, she had taken the rose bushes and placed them in a larger pot. And she had actually pruned away all the dead leaves. And I remember when I came in and I saw this beautiful glass pot with this rose bush that had been pruned, I remember how it struck me, how I knew that that was a sign to me that something was being pruned from my life. I thanked her, and I kind of pondered on it. Well, a month to the day that happened, I was terminated from this job. And when the termination came, I thought back to my coworker pruning the plant and realized that was a sign that it's okay. The job was going away, but that there was something greater ahead for me. Allowing that to be pruned without fighting it, without being stuck back in, feeling like I had been done wrong. Although I'm human, so I certainly had a range of emotions. I recognized that I was being warned early that the pruning was coming. So to embrace it, cutting away dead things that no longer serve you, allow room for growth. It allows room for new things, for new opportunities, for new branches to be added to you. So embrace the pruning. And if you're in a job and you're in a career that is unfulfilling, which this job was completely unfulfilling, if you're in a job where you feel like it's not going anywhere and you've done all that you can do, then maybe it's time for you to allow the pruning of that to be cut away for new things to be added to you. It wasn't until that was cut away that I was able to see something far greater for my life, for my future, for my growth, and that brings me to the second point. Pruning allows for clarity and focus. Until that job was cut away from me, I was not able to see, and I wouldn't have left because it was comfortable, because it was good pay. Something had to happen to move me out into the unfamiliar. And when that happened, instead of going to another job, somewhere where I was unfulfilled, I confronted what was going on the inside of me. And I confronted the feelings of feeling like I was destined for more, that there was more that I was supposed to be doing in this particular season. And I began to consider the thought of entrepreneurship that had come to me several years ago. And I decided that there was no time like the present to step out and to venture into entrepreneurship, to go along with the desire of my heart. Because 2 years prior, I began to feel like I wanted to step into entrepreneurship. So there was no time like the present. And I allowed that pruning to give the clarity and the focus that I needed to say, this is an opportunity that I am going to take a leap of faith and branch out and step into the entrepreneurial space. That focus only came because the dead leaves that were cut away from me allowed me to see further and see clearer into the future. I thought about, job is great, but I began to think more long term. I began to think more about destiny, more about leaving a legacy for my children and my grandchildren. And the clarity came, the focus came, and it allowed me, through the pruning that happened, to actually step out into something that, I had been anxious to do for quite some time. And in this entrepreneurial journey, it aligned me to align my thoughts and my dreams with the vision that I had for the future and take a step to do something that was on the inside of my heart. So number 2 benefit is it provides clarity and focus so that you can see further into the future. The last benefit that pruning brings and provides, and that is absolutely necessary, is it increases strength and resilience. In this entrepreneurial journey, I have had many situations that didn't go as I anticipated, many outcomes that were not what I was hoping for. And I have learned to adapt. I have learned to flex. I have learned to be quick on my feet, come up with solutions. I had a boss that I admired about him is when we had obstacles that came up, and myself included, we all said, we don't think we can overcome this. We don't know how to, to move past this. He always said, no, there is no can't. We have to figure out how to get it done. And back then I just thought, he just doesn't get it. He doesn't see that this is impossible. But it wasn't that. His mindset was expanded. He had a growth mindset. He didn't take no for an answer. And he knew that there was always, where there was a will, there's always a way. And I always admired that about him. And what happened with me when I stepped into the entrepreneurial space is I had to grow. I had to develop resistance. I had to develop strength, because when things don't go your way, when everything is relying on you, you have to learn, you have to grow, you have to develop muscle, you have to develop heart, and you have to be willing to, against all odds, continue to pursue. So what pruning is going to do, the third benefit that it's going to do, is it's going to add strength and resilience. At this particular season in my life, I am actually stepping into taking on a job. This job will allow me to have a steady stream of income, but also allow me to continue to work my business. Prior to becoming an entrepreneur, I probably would have looked at this as a failure. Now I look at it as not a failure. This is a step up for me. While this is going to provide sustainable income, I'm still able to work the business, and I have a mindset that says, against all odds, I will continue to pursue. Guys, none of those things would have been possible. None of those things would have happened had I not allowed the pruning process to take place and allowed it to make me a stronger person, more determined to have the outcome that I desire to have. And even though I'm taking on another job, I look at it as this is just another chapter in the book that is being written. I will continue to pursue. I will continue to work my business. And I look back now at this season of my life and I realize that I have created not one, not two, not three. I have created 4 additional streams of income in addition to the job that I'm taking on here very shortly. So when life shows you that things need to be pruned, when you begin to feel discontent, when you begin to feel like the purpose of the job or the relationship or even your identities are no longer serving you, don't be afraid. Step out. Leave fear behind you, understanding that pruning is necessary. It's developing strength, it's developing resistance, it's taking you out of the comfortable cocoon that you're in, and you're going to break forth as the beautiful butterfly and soar to new heights. So remember, pruning is not comfortable, but it's necessary. So allow the process to make you the person that you are designed to be. All right, guys, if you like what I had to say, like, share, subscribe to my channel, hit the notifications bell so that you know when I upload a new video. And remember, allow the pruning process to make you the beautiful butterfly that you were designed to be.